she whispered under her breath. You must feel awkward. His voice came almost immediately. What? She jumped slightly. Oh, I was talking to myself. She fidgeted slightly with her robe. I was wondering if you felt awkward because I kissed you. His answer came without hesitation. It's quite all right. I don't feel awkward at all. She blinked. Her heart fluttered. What was I thinking? His words echoed again in her memory. What I'd really like is to kiss you on the lips. But I'm not sure if you'll be comfortable with that. Her hand gripped the blanket. You must feel awkward. Her thoughts spiraled. For a minute, I thought he was going to kiss me on the lips. Bingo. She bit her lip. I can't believe this will soon come to an end. She looked over at him from the corner of her eye. It seems he's ready to have children. I'm sure he's ready to find a real wife. Then why? Why do I feel so restless inside? He suddenly looked toward her with a small smile. Let's have rose tea in the garden when you've recovered. He paused. You haven't forgotten, right? We promised to drink rose tea when the roses are in full bloom. She looked away. Yes. I know it's part of our contract. There was hesitation. But I'm not sure when I'll have the time. He raised his eyebrows. Oh. But she quickly added. Since it's a part of our contract, I promise to make time to have tea in the rose garden. His expression softened. Yes, my lady. She watched him for a moment. He doesn't care much about anything else. But he genuinely cares about tending to his garden. She stepped outside later to find him holding a small dish. What is he up to this time? He handed it to her. This is delicious. Please try some, my lady. It's really delicious. She took a bite, surprised. Thank you. He beamed. I'm glad you liked it. Let me know, and I'll go pick you some more anytime. She raised an eyebrow. Did you say anytime? Yes. Well then, could you get me some more the next time you go to the garden? Of course. He leaned in slightly with a spoon. Now then, say ah. She pulled back. I can eat on my own, Your Grace. Her voice was firm yet gentle. We don't have to pretend to be lovey-dovey when no one's around. She couldn't continue to let him feed her. He looked down, embarrassed. Oh. I just wanted to show my appreciation for all your hard work. He raised the spoon again, quieter this time. Say ah. Just then. The royal secretary is here to see us, my lady. She nodded, turning toward him. I asked His Majesty to skip the appointment ceremony. She blinked, surprised. You did good. That's good, she added with a sigh. I was afraid I'd miss the ceremony because of work. He hesitated. I also told him. I don't want another fiefdom. What? She stared. You said you didn't want what? He repeated plainly. Fiefdom. I said I didn't want the land that comes with the dukedom. She sat upright. You're busy enough as it is, my lady. Her eyes flashed. No. Go back and say you want the land, Your Grace. What? Why? We need land. Lots of it. Her tone grew more serious by the second. The more the better. She crossed her arms. Go to His Majesty and say you made a mistake. Get as much land as you possibly can. Her voice dropped a pitch. The richer the soil, the better. He looked at her curiously. My lady, are you sure about this? It will be more work for you. She looked away, narrowing her eyes. I think I'll actually feel better if there's more land for us to manage. Later, standing before the palace. He straightened his back. Your Grace, the attendant began. I'd like to be granted an audience with His Majesty. You excuse me? He looked past him, eyes sharp with resolve. The certificate of appointment can come later. A new voice entered the room. What is it? I thought I wouldn't be seeing you for a while. He bowed slightly. The thing is... The king interrupted. Enough with the formalities. You know we're past all that. Speak freely. He hesitated, then nodded. I wouldn't dare, Your Majesty. A pause. But then, his voice rose, confident. Fine. I want the fiefdom you wanted to give me. All of it. A breath. Actually. The more, the better. Fine. I want the fiefdom you wanted to give me. All of it. He lifted his chin slightly, voice gaining quiet confidence. Actually, the more, the better. A pause. The king raised an amused brow. Really? This is new. You were vehemently against it the last time we met. The memory came back effortlessly. I'd like to bestow a fiefdom on you. The land formerly ruled by the Empress's family, the Marquis of Olade. Thank you, but no thank you. The king had questioned him even then. Why? Isn't it time for you to lose the dimwit facade and go back to your real self? And he had answered from the heart. I hardly have any time with my wife as it is. More land would make her even busier, and she's already up to her neck in work. But now... Still, the king said, I need to give you a reward for helping me ascend the throne. His voice grew gentler. I would never have been able to avenge my mother if not for you. A dark look crossed Mir's face. I got my revenge, too, against the enemies who murdered my parents. The king's tone softened even more. And yet I'd still like to reward you. But Mir only shook his head. It's fine. I don't need it. The king chuckled internally. He told me he couldn't be bothered, but changed his mind. My wife wants the fiefdom. Laughter burst out. Ha! He became a sucker for love. Anything for you, Mir whispered under his breath. I want the land to be full of rich soil. The farmlands, he added, of the south. Yes. That's what I want. So, the king mused, she wishes to grow crops there? I didn't hear the details, Mir admitted, but it seems to be the case. The king gave a grin. Sure. Like I said, anything you want. I think I'll actually feel better if there's more land for us to manage. Sisha will jump with joy at the news. I feel better, the king said quietly, knowing that you're in good hands. Thank you. And don't hesitate to let me know if you ever need my services again. The king raised an eyebrow. I thought you were done working as an assassin? Mir gave a faint smile. I think it's in my blood. I'm not cut out to live a mundane life. He bowed deeply. Anyways, I'll be taking my leave now, Your Majesty. The king's voice called out just as he reached the door. Mir, are you sure you don't want to go see her? A shadow passed through his gaze. She's confined in an isolated tower, just as you requested. The king stepped forward slightly. What are you planning to do with her? Mir's voice turned ice cold. She murdered my parents, and put me through living hell. His words trembled with rage. I want her to suffer, for the rest of her life. He exhaled slowly. I'm not going until I know I can maintain my calm. As you wish. Murmurs followed behind him. A farmer turned duke, does his wife know who he really is? Maybe she's pretending not to know. She seems to be that type. Instead of mourning her dead husband, she was busy working. Living life. If she truly thought he was dead, she would have run off with his assets, wouldn't she? Do you think he heard us? I don't think he would have smiled at us if he had. Later, as he stepped into the manor, she greeted him with surprise. You're back. He nodded. What did His Majesty say? He said yes. Her eyes lit up. Does it make you that happy? Yes. We were in need of land. She crossed her arms. Are you referring to farming? Yes. I want to promote tourism in our fiefdom, and I want food to play a key role. Many noble ladies are interested in international cuisine, she explained. I was thinking we could create dishes from chai. Her voice softened slightly. And in order to do so, we need ingredients. And to get those, we need land to grow the crops. He stared at her with admiration. What an amazing idea! I can hardly wait. She smiled, excited. Anyways, I'm looking forward to the crops we'll need to make chai cuisine. After a pause, he gently asked, What have you been up to, my lady? She blinked. Oh, do you remember my friend? The one you saw on Coronation Day? Yes. We're supposed to have tea, she said slowly. So I was writing him to set the date. He stiffened slightly. Oh, the person from Chai. Right. His voice lowered with concern. I'm afraid rumors will spread if you meet him at a cafe. You're a married woman, and he's still a bachelor. Her tone had softened. You think so? He nodded carefully. Yes. There are those who love to spread gossip. And if people see the two of you together, people may get the wrong idea, she finished. Silence fell. Then his voice rang clear. Well then, please choose me, Sisha. Her heart trembled at his words. I have to find a way to gently turn him down. She nodded slowly to herself. Why don't you invite him to the estate? Please choose me, Sisha. She took a slow breath. I have to find a way to gently turn him down. She tapped her pen against the edge of the table, thinking. Why don't you invite him to the estate? She suggested aloud. You can have tea in the greeting room, or the garden. She smiled faintly. Your friends are always welcome here. Her thoughts paused. He is such a kind-hearted person. Thank you, Your Grace. He shook his head. There's no need to thank me. It's the least I can do. A soft pause. We're a married couple, after all. Later that day, he motioned toward a side table. There's one thing, my lady. Yes? He stopped beside a delicate clay planter. This flower pot. Did you like the potted flowers I gave you? Is that why this is here? She looked at it, then back at him. I just like the flowers. That's all. He raised a brow. There's no other meaning to it? She stood a little straighter. It's exactly what I said. I just like the flowers, nothing more, nothing less. I see. But a thought stirred behind his gaze. I wanted to know what kind of meaning she was referring to. I want to delve into the details, but I don't think she'll give me an answer. She tilted her head and smiled. You seem to be in a good mood, Your Grace. He smiled softly. I'm excited to host your friend at our estate, my lady. She gave a polite nod. We'll just have a quick chat. Nonetheless. That night, She groaned quietly beneath the covers. He came over to my side of the bed again. This never happened in the past, but it's the third time since he returned. My lady? He stepped toward her gently. Are you done with your training? I am, Your Grace. Did you sleep well? Yes, I did. He scratched his head a little. When I woke up, I noticed that I was sleeping on your side of the bed. Oh. She cleared her throat. I think you started rolling around in your sleep. He nodded sheepishly. That seems to be the case. My apologies. It's fine. We can create a barrier with pillows under the curtains. Pillows. That's correct. He glanced away and quickly changed the topic. Anyways, what have you been up to? She turned a page in her hand. I was reading the papers. I read that a marquis and 2 counts were attacked last night. He frowned. 3 nobles attacked by an unknown assailant? She nodded. The attacker left no trace. Their identity is unknown, they were fully masked. She flipped to another page. It happened late into the night. The attack was sudden, violent, and there were no witnesses nearby. The police believe it was calculated. She narrowed her eyes. This is one of many attacks against nobility. And many nobles are shaking in fear that they might be next. She said softly. What kind of world are we living in these days? Oh my! They should have kept their silly mouths shut. A formal voice called. Greetings to the head of the Forgotten Moon Merchant Group. Thank you for the invitation, Your Grace. He bowed, presenting a gift. It's a white porcelain jar from Chai. She took it in hand. It looks beautiful. Thank you for the gift. She turned calmly to her attendant. I'll send it to the kitchen when he's gone. Well then, it's this way. Thank you. As they walked, he glanced around. I was gone for quite some time. The servant beside them nodded. You're the first visitor my lady has ever invited to our home. He smiled warmly. I never thought she would have befriended someone from Chai. How did you get acquainted? She replied easily. We met during my first visit to Chai. He was gracious enough to help me out. Royness has a friendly demeanor. It was easy to become friends. His gaze flickered. Did she refer to him by name? Just how close are they? Royness smiled. We would have been friends no matter what personality I had. We just get along so well. How do you get along so well? Could you be more specific? He smiled again. We converse about anything and everything. That's never happened to me before. She crossed her arms. That's only because we talk about our merchant groups. Royness chuckled. Well, some merchants hate talking about work. I see. He nodded to himself. I think I know what you're talking about. His voice grew warmer. My wife and I are soulmates. My heart sings when I'm with her. That's right. She blinked up at him, unsure. You're amazing. How did you come up with something like that? He grinned. He compliments me on everything I do. And I live for compliments. He added earnestly. And he needs me more than anyone in this world. He's given me everything I ever needed. Do you agree, my lady? She hesitated, then spoke softly. I do. You do feel like my soulmate. Mir stepped forward, his expression composed. Well then, I have some things to take care of. He looked directly at Royness. I'll leave the two of you alone. Sisha stared after him. He's going to spend the rest of the day poring over a single document. I'll be seeing you soon, my lady. Of course, Your Grace. Royness turned to her, his voice low. You seem to be on good terms with His Grace. He didn't wait long before adding. I meant every word I said to you. He exhaled. That's the thing about human emotions. You can't make them go away in an instant. He still doesn't believe it. I never thought she would have befriended someone from Chai. And yet, here we are. That's the thing about human emotions. You can't make them go away in an instant. She froze. How dare he say such a thing to a married woman? His voice was gentler now. I'll do my best, so please don't push me away. She took a breath. I'd like us to stay friends. He smiled faintly. Of course we can stay friends. There was a pause before he spoke again. I hope your husband isn't inconveniencing you in any way. She glanced up, expression guarded. I hear he has a few loose screws. And that the only thing he's good at is farming. How can he say such things about my husband? She straightened her posture. He just doesn't get it sometimes. No one is perfect. There's a sweet side and a bitter side to every person. Her voice softened. You can't always have sweets. She smiled to herself. And I like that my husband is pure and innocent. A breath. I'm the type to calculate everything, even my emotions. And that's why I respect my husband. But she glanced out the window, thoughtful. But I'm still worried. You have a lot on your plate. She shook her head. I don't feel burdened at all. It's the reason why I'm here. Then she turned to him properly. I'll be frank, since we're friends. A pause. I do have moments when I struggle. She lifted her teacup, her voice low but pointed. He's not only good at farming, he's also good in bed. I struggled to keep up with his stamina. Royness coughed into his hand, surprised. I see. Sisha really put him in his place. Her thoughts drifted back momentarily. And I like that my husband is pure and innocent. I'm the type to calculate everything, even my emotions. That's why I respect him. As the conversation wound down, Royness stood. I think I'll get going now. Thank you for the tea. She nodded politely. Phew. He meant every word he said. I hope your husband isn't inconveniencing you in any way. Then her thoughts darkened. Does he think I enjoy living like this? He's so clean-cut, he makes me sick. He's bound to have a few skeletons in his closet. I just need to find one. What did you say, Rennie? Her maid's voice responded quickly. There are no pillows? Yes. We have some in the guest room, but nothing else. She frowned. Send someone out to buy some. We need 2 big pillows. Tell them to get extras. Yes, my lady. She narrowed her eyes quietly. How can we lack pillows in such a big house? Her voice dropped to a murmur. I should check the inventory of the household goods. I don't want our guests to be inconvenienced in any way. I can take care of that. A gentle voice interrupted. I'll do it, he said quickly. She didn't hesitate. Taking care of household affairs is my duty. You should focus on your own work, Your Grace. He's not good with numbers. And may end up spending more than needed. He might even mess up the entire inventory list. I'm sure he'll get the numbers mixed up too. But I'd like to help out, my lady. She was firm. It would be best if we did the work that has been allocated to us. Nonetheless, His voice softened again. I feel bad for making you do all the work, my lady. I know I'm not very good at household affairs, and a bit clumsy at that. She touched his hand. Don't say such a thing. Her eyes met his. You have many wonderful qualities, Your Grace. You are warm and kind-hearted. I like that about you, Your Grace. Then she added quietly. As a person, Your Grace. He tilted his head slightly. Did you say like? He gave a small smile. I like you too, my lady. He gently took her hands into his. These hands that work so hard for my estate. They feel really warm. He looked down, a hint of guilt flickering behind his smile. And you got blood all over them, because of me. His grasp tightened slightly. And they mean more to me than you could ever imagine. Your Grace. She stood still for a moment before backing away. I'll get going now. Get back to your documents. He blinked, flustered. Oh. Take me with you. Later. Excuse me, my lady. Yes? Any progress with the pillows? The maid hesitated sheepishly. The thing is. Her eyes narrowed. Don't tell me, you were unable to find any. I'm sorry, the maid said. All the large-sized pillows seem to be sold out. Only the cushion-sized ones were left. Suddenly, a sharp voice rang out. Did I hear someone scream just now? Another voice quickly followed. I believe so. I'll go check it out. I'm coming with you. They rushed down the hallway. A panicked voice called out. Eli! Sisha turned at once. Your Grace! My lady! What's the matter? He hesitated. The thing is. He lowered his voice with disbelief. I cannot believe they found bedbugs in the bedding. Sisha's eyebrows lifted. Thank goodness the staff took swift action. Her voice dropped into suspicion. How can there be bedbugs on bedding that has never been used? And it wasn't limited to one guest room, he added. It was found in every single guest room in the estate. He looked haunted by the discovery. We need to conduct a deep cleaning of the premises. I agree, Sisha said firmly. I can't imagine being surrounded by bedbugs, it's truly frightening. Mir stepped forward. I'll have them clean the estate inside out. Don't worry. She tilted her head. Won't that take a huge chunk out of this month's budget? At the same time, murmurs escaped down the corridor. What a devilish person he is. He'll stop at nothing to get what he wants. What if there are bedbugs in our bed, my lady? Someone whispered ominously. Master, Brenny said with a sigh. I think you're getting a bit carried away. I'm sure Our Lady wants a husband who can catch the bugs for her, another muttered. Rather than a dimwit she has to look after. Our master is like a leech, someone added in a hushed tone. He drains the energy of our lovely mistress like a blood-sucking. Rennie. Her name came sharp from Sisha's lips. Go to our bedroom and see if there are any signs of bedbugs. Yes, my lady. Mir tilted his head toward her. Why don't we head inside? But bugs are so scary, he muttered. Sisha turned, arms crossed. You're scary to the bugs too. I'd advise you to crush them when you see them. His eyes widened, startled. He's on my pillow. He's stronger than he looks. She watched him for a moment, her hand pressed quietly over her chest. Sisha. Why is my heart beating so madly? Is there something wrong with my heart? That can't be. She clenched her fists. I train every day. Or maybe I'm just tired. She tried to steady her thoughts. But if it isn't that, am I falling in love with His Grace? Her breath caught. But that's not possible. She shook her head quickly. I was probably just shocked to hear him call out my name in his sleep. Yes, that must be it. She sighed. I've been thinking, Your Grace. He looked up. Yes, my lady? She smiled gently. Maybe it's time you trimmed your bangs. She gestured at him playfully. That way, you'd be able to eat more neatly. Turning to the side, she called out. Bring me a hairpin, Alaka. Moments later, his hair was gently clipped back. She looked at him in soft surprise. He looks like an angel. There, she said with a satisfied nod. Now you can eat more neatly. She set down her utensils. Oh, by the way, I plan on visiting our new fiefdom as soon as we receive the letter of appointment. He blinked. The fiefdom? Yes, she said calmly. I have to check the development of our latest alarm clock. And prepared to take our chef and gardener to Chai. There are a lot of things that need to be taken care of. She glanced over at him. What would you like to do, Your Grace? He smiled softly. I'd be more than happy to accompany you, my lady. Great, she said, pleased. Let's get going once His Majesty sends us the official document regarding your new dukedom. He nodded. That sounds good. A pause. She added quietly. One other thing. Her voice was almost hesitant. Once I'm done looking over the new land, I'll be heading straight over to Chai. He looked up quickly. Did you say you'll be heading to Chai? She nodded calmly. Yes. It's for the restaurant business I mentioned earlier. Her eyes sparkled just a little. The Blue Sky Merchant Group once welcomed me with a feast. And it was so good. I couldn't help but want to learn their recipe. He stepped forward quickly, almost too eagerly. Let me go with you. She looked at him gently but firmly. You have a dukedom now, Your Grace. And people who depend on you. He wilted beneath her quiet voice. Don't give me that look. His voice barely masked his frustration. But I'm not very clever, my lady. I can't do anything without you. She smiled softly. Don't say such a thing. That's not true. But he seemed unconvinced. I'm going to take the dukedom down with me. His arms flailed a little, theatrically. Why, it may fall into ruins while you're away at Chai. She blinked. Are those tears I see in his eyes? Calm down, Your Grace, she said carefully. There's no need to be so dramatic. A servant whispered from the corner. We did just fine without His Grace for the past 3 years. Another murmured behind a fan. There's no way it would fall into ruins now that he's back. Pause. Or maybe not. Yet another spoke with bewildered caution. He may be right. His Grace does seem to have the Murphy's touch. Mere paste. This is an emergency. I was just given a dukedom, and I have no idea what kind of responsibilities it comes with. He turned toward Sisha, eyes wide. I don't know if I can do it without you, my lady. She replied gently. There's no use being afraid. You have to learn to do things on your own. But he stepped closer, hands pleading. No. I'm going with you. He added with a quiet laugh. You know I make silly decisions without you, my lady. She exhaled. He's been acting childishly lately. What should I do? His thoughts swirled. We're finally together after 3 long years. There's no way I'm sending her alone. His fists clenched. Roynus Xiao has been annoying me to no end. And the thought of Sisha meeting him again in Chai. It made his blood boil. Just then, a servant rushed in with a scroll. This is an invitation to the ball hosted by the Duchess of Sharbliss. He continued. It will take place in a week. Sisha frowned slightly. If we don't receive the letter of appointment soon, we won't be able to visit the fiefdom and make it back in time. Her advisor nodded. It's always good to attend events hosted by the Dukedom of Sharbliss. One can gather information about the latest trends within high society. Another astutely added. His Grace has not just returned from the dead, but was also given a dukedom. It would be wise to mingle with the other nobles right away. Sisha straightened her back. I have to make sure they never make fun of His Grace again. You may enter. She turned as footsteps approached. Greetings, Your Grace. Welcome. Mir narrowed his eyes slightly. Do they work for your merchant group in Chai? Sisha nodded. 1 woman, 2 men. His eyes scanned them. He seems to be of similar age to Sisha. And that one, a bit older. Did she choose them based on their looks? His eye twitched. Of course, there's no doubt that I'm much more handsome than they are. The catch is, very few people actually know about my looks. He sighed. Nonetheless, it seems Sisha is surrounded by handsome, competent men. And I find it very annoying indeed. Sisha stepped forward. Your Grace, I have 2 assistants. He is one of them. Mir's tone remained casual, but intent. This is your assistant? That's right. He looks quite young. He's the oldest out of the group. How old are you? I am 29 years of age, Your Grace. His name is Tamish Dudu, Sisha explained. He's the 2nd son of Baron Dudu. Graduated top of his class at the Ali Ayer Academy. Mir squinted. How can he be 29, with a baby face like that? Sisha gestured to the others. The other 2 are my secretaries. This is Alfred Kenos, age 27. Graduated 2nd best in his class at the Miru Academy, and formerly worked for a trading company. And finally, that's Ari Chanwar. Same age as Alfred. She was top of her class at the Miru Academy. I scouted her from a merchant group that deals with the Movia Kingdom. Mir folded his arms. It's good to know you're surrounded by such talented personnel. Sisha smiled. Since you're working here, we'll take our meeting to the sitting room. But Mir shook his head. It's fine. You can have your meeting here. I have to see whether these men have feelings for Sisha or not. Well then, if you'll excuse us. Don't be so formal, my lady. He cut her off gently. As I told you earlier this morning, I don't want to spend another minute apart from you. Nervous laughter followed. Ha! We know you 2 were apart for 3 long years. It's good to see you together at long last. Have a seat. Sisha sat down gracefully. I asked the staff to purchase pillows yesterday. But they failed. Someone purchased all the pillows in the capital city. She narrowed her eyes. Did you ever think such a day would come? Mir blinked. No. It makes no sense whatsoever. Another chimed in. Only a fool would try to profit off of pillows. Sisha nodded. They're right. It makes sense to buy up food, weapons, or rare goods. But pillows? Mir folded his arms. I can't imagine what they were thinking. She closed her eyes briefly. Last night, we found bedbugs in the guest rooms. So we had to burn most of the bedding within the estate. Everyone froze. That makes more sense, one whispered. Another added. Other nobles may be facing a similar problem. A glint sparked in Sisha's eyes. This might be a great opportunity, my lady. I agree. She straightened immediately. Send our staff to investigate the matter. Check to see if other nobles are facing a similar problem. And find out who bought out all the pillows in the capital city. Yes, my lady. Mir watched her closely. You're busy at work, even after hearing that the pillows were sold out. She didn't pause. Merchant groups need to be on top of market trends. Whatever happens, we must find the reason why, and act accordingly. You must know the market to make profit. Read the flow. Jump in before your competitors. Mir blinked. I don't know much about business. But it sounds complicated. She smiled softly. You'll get the hang of it one day, Your Grace. He watched her from afar, quiet. How can she still be working? There's no end to her work, it seems. My lady? Yes? He stepped forward. It's time for bed. You promised that you would get some proper rest. She paused. Of course. I'll wrap things up. He smiled faintly. Your Grace. Yes, he said softly. I don't want you catching a cold. She replied. Don't worry about me. I've been training too. He looked at her and asked. What do you think? She gasped. Oh my. You have some serious pecs, Your Grace. He repeated in surprise. I have serious pecs? Yes. Very serious, indeed. He turned away awkwardly. Well then. I'll go and take a bath. She thought to herself. She thought. Not sexy, but serious pecs. But then, she's probably used to muscles. As she grew up in a family of knights. But I'm not one to give up so easily. She suddenly panicked. I can't believe I said that. To mere Lunaria, of all people. She clenched her fists. I can't let these things get to me. He returned and asked gently. He said. Are you finished? Please allow me to dry your hair. All right, please don't get me wrong, Your Grace. What is it, my lady? He asked. You should wear more form-fitting pajamas. Loose clothing tends to bunch up while you sleep. I see. I favor loose clothing because it's more comfortable. But maybe you're right. I'll wear more form-fitting pajamas from now on. That sounds like a plan, she said. Later, she reported. We send out some people to investigate. There were no other homes with bed bug problems. I see. So there's no need to venture into the pillow business, he replied. She continued. According to our informants, the person who purchased the pillows also bought out all the bedding. They loaded up their cart even before the payment was finalized. So who's the fool that wants to make money through bedding and pillows? He asked. I have no idea what they plan to do with all those pillows, she added. The merchant said the buyer was covered from head to toe in a cloak. So there's no way to find out why they bought out the pillows and bedding. And there's no way to find out their identity, he said. She nodded. The funny thing is, they cleaned out the pillows in a single day. Then came back the next day and bought out all the bedding. There may be an ulterior motive behind their actions, he said. I agree. Something doesn't feel right, she replied. Yes, there must be another reason. she sighed. We should move on, but I can't seem to get this out of my mind. I agree with you, my lady. I'd like to find out the reason for their actions, he said. Tell our informants to continue to keep an eye out. I will, my lady. A servant entered. Servant said, This is the letter of appointment, and your coronet, your grace. You look lovely, my lady, he said. So do you, your grace, she replied. You think so, ahem. We are not yet finished, a voice said. Oh, I thought you had already left, she replied. We still need to give you the documents for your new land. Oh my! His Majesty gave us land in the south. Which part? He asked. We were given part of the farm belt in the south. An area famous for its fertile soil. You're right. This area boasts high-quality wheat, he said. And this region here is famous for its produce. Different kinds of fruit are grown in this region. A servant added. Your Grace, the royal secretary left you this document. He thought to himself. There's a reason why I initially turned down the dukedom. But whatever makes Sisha happy, he said aloud. I'm sure these documents will be more complicated than the ones we dealt with when I was a mere count. I'll help you, so don't worry, your grace, she replied. She wiped her brow. I'm a little hot, your grace. Ugh, the weather isn't working in my favor. Well then, he said. I'll just have to find a way to use this weather to my advantage. Rennie rushed in excitedly. Rennie said. My lady! I managed to buy pillows and bedding today. And I also purchased a new set of pajamas for His Grace, like you requested. You did good, Rennie. Don't mention it, my lady. Oh, I have something else to tell you, Rennie added. According to the shop owner, there was an anonymous donation of pillows and bedding to various orphanages. Did you say orphanages? She asked. Yes. Specifically the ones located at the outskirts of the capital. It seems the person who bought it out wanted to donate it to those in need. People are referring to this mysterious donor as the Pillowy Angel. The Pillowy Angel, she repeated. Angel in white. Pillowy Angel. Since they don't know the donor's identity. Those are the nicknames the orphanages came up with. So that's what happened, she said quietly. I'll order the informants to halt the investigation. Understood. She gave new orders. We'll be leaving for our new land tomorrow. So make sure everything is packed and ready. Yes, my lady. You can leave now. Yes, my lady, a sharp voice cut through the quiet hallway. Why are you sneaking up on me like that? He smirked, unbothered. I was trying to attack you. She raised an eyebrow. Did you do as I requested? Of course. He straightened confidently. Who do you think I am? She answered calmly. You're Rennie Sonar. His grin faltered. I wasn't asking if you knew my name. She gave him a pointed look. You could have fooled me. I'm not a fool like you, my lord. He narrowed his eyes slightly. It's all an act. His voice dropped. You must no longer value your life. His tone grew darker, theatrical. Tell me how you wish to die, and I shall make your wish come true. She backed up slightly, hands raised. No, thank you. I still have a bucket list of things I want to eat before I die. He stared. You want to die by gluttony? No, I want to eat everything in the world before I die. Stop messing with me, sir. He turned his head, mildly entertained. Whatever. Tell me Sisha's reaction. Rennie crossed her arms. She thought it was a good deed. He sighed. Why don't people get it? His voice dropped again, dramatic. That pillowy angel is actually a devil in disguise. He clenched a fist. See? He's the spawn of Satan. She tilted her head. Anyways, why did you burn all the pillows? And ask us to buy out everything on the market? He clicked his tongue. Because Sisha wanted more pillows to create a barrier between us. And bedding can be rolled to use as barriers, he muttered. Rennie narrowed her eyes. He ignored me. Rennie. She stood at attention. Sir. He smiled devilishly. I have a special mission for you. She nodded solemnly. Say it, and I shall obey, my lord. He paused dramatically. What? What is it now? He turned toward her slowly. I'm having trouble buttoning up my pajama top. She blinked. What should we do? She peered at the garment. Everything came in this size. His expression turned grave. Rennie, what have you done? He grumbled. I may have to sleep shirtless. It's way too hot. Her voice rose 3 octaves. You want to sleep shirtless? He nodded solemnly again. Yes. I used up too much energy trying to get the buttons fastened. He fanned himself. It does feel like summer. Rennie protested, flustered. Wear your old pajamas. It gets cold at night. I'm too hot right now. I'll get under the blanket if it gets cold. Rennie looked away furiously. I don't even know where to look. Elsewhere. Sisha was still working at her desk. I need a few more minutes, Your Grace. He stepped into the study quietly. It's time for bed, my lady. She looked up softly. It's nothing urgent. You should get some rest. His gaze lingered. You did enough work for today. She gave a tiny nod. I'd better get this over and done with. He watched her silently. She worked so hard today. Should I switch character and become someone clever yet innocent? No. His Majesty would have a field day with that. He sighed. She's focusing on work like I don't exist. Just like our days together at the academy. He stared at her across the candlelit desk. She was always immersed in reading, even the day we met. Why is she studying so hard? Exams are over. Someone whispered behind him. Are you referring to Lunaria? Yes. A chuckle. Thanks to him, I'm no longer the bottom of our class. Another scoffed. I don't understand why he's at the academy. He's such a dunce. Suddenly, a strong voice rang out in the distance. Who the hell just said that? Gasps followed. Did she just say, screw them? He turned, almost stunned. Sisha Point. There you are. He repeated her name in quiet awe. Sisha Point. She blinked slowly. Oh, poinsettia. What is she staring at? His gaze followed hers, quietly curious. She finally spoke, soft, distant. You remind me of me. He blinked. Did she just say, the bench resembles her? She's a weird one, he mumbled under his breath. A pause. She compared herself to a sunset flower? I don't understand that girl. His mind wandered back in time. I saw this flower at the academy earlier. And in a blur of dramatic resolve. I'll fire the gardener at once. A voice snapped behind him. Are you the owner of this estate? I believe you don't have the right to fire anybody. He froze. Well, I was joking. She rolled her eyes. Tell the gardener to take good care of it. He hesitated. But this is a wild flower. It clashes with the carefully curated blooms in the greenhouse. Sisha turned to him, eyes calm yet unwavering. Your life depends on this flower. If it dies, so do you. Yes, my lord. Since that day, I developed a habit. Sisha thought she resembled sunset flowers. Back then I disagreed. But I took interest in them nonetheless. Under Alaka's care, the sunset flowers began to flourish. Slowly at first, then confidently. But it wasn't only the flowers that bloomed. My interest in Sisha began to bloom as well. I noticed her in the cafeteria, under the windows of the dormitory. In time, I stopped pretending. I was actively seeking her out. And I came to a conclusion. I wanted her to look at me. The way I watched her. I wanted to go talk to her. Why don't you go talk to her, my lord? Excuse me? The servant shrugged with a smile. I notice you keep staring at that lady over there, so. The academy will be hosting a festival soon. Why don't you strike up a conversation during the masquerade ball? He blinked. You said something right, for a change. Later that evening. My lady? She looked up from her desk. What is it? It's unfair of you to study while everyone else is out having fun. She narrowed her eyes. He must be another innocent rich boy. I wish he'd just leave me alone. I won't be able to attend the academy otherwise. Do you need help with your studies? You said it was unfair. She looked back down at the page. I like being unfair, she added with a whisper. In fact, my life is all about being unfair. He watched her bemused. What a fool. I'm good. Go have fun at the masquerade ball, she muttered. He shook his head slowly. No can do. I can't let this opportunity pass. I prefer quiet over noise. I do too. She looked up suddenly. So if you want to take a break, why don't you do it over there? A pause. He frowned. Sisha is telling me to get lost. The next year. The masquerade ball. He approached her again. My lady, it's been a year since we last met. Her eyes flickered to him. Does she think I'm a pervert? Ever since that day, I stopped going to the library. Back in the present. Her voice reached him. Why, Your Grace? Stop. She froze, startled at his closeness. I wish I could give him a big whack on the head. I'll stop, if you stop working. She gasped. Oh, Your Grace. Then I'll stop working. I'll rest, she blurted out, flustered. Moments of silence trickled between them. Ha! HAA. He turned away slightly. This feels a bit awkward. She glanced at her hands, then back at him. I can't rest, with you looming over me like this. A sigh. Give me a moment, give me a moment. Silence followed, soft, still, comfortable. He leaned in slightly. You smell like roses. A pause. But there's more to it than just roses. She blinked quickly. Ugh, could you get off me, what is it, Your Grace? It's nothing. He closed his eyes, voice lower. Are you sleepy? She furrowed her brows. I think I need to be. What? She glanced sideways. He must be really tired. He's starting to speak nonsense. He turned over in quiet thought. I don't think Sisha liked the new nightshirt on me. I thought we were having a moment, but maybe I was wrong. A hand pressed against his chest. Should I act innocent instead? Rather than appeal to her with my muscular body. But he shook his head inwardly. No, I don't want to come off as immature. I'm the one who created this character. I made my bed. Now I must lie in it. The next morning. Knit. He groaned. I most definitely placed a pillow between us last night. A soft stretch, and then her voice. Good morning, my lady. She looked up, squinting into the light. You're awake. The alarm went off, he murmured. You rolled over the barrier again. He pulled back. My bad. I didn't think I had such bad sleeping habits. I must have rolled over the barrier, seeking warmth. She paused. It was a bit chilly last night. She turned her gaze away. Please wear your nightshirt from now on. He straightened. I will, my lady. Rennie. Yes, my lady? I wanted to ask about His Grace's pajamas. Why did you purchase such a small size? I bought it according to the measurements I received from the butler. Does it not fit? It's too small. I want you to go exchange it. Make it one size bigger. No, make that 2 sizes bigger. Rennie hesitated. But we have to leave for the estate today. Then tell the staff to exchange it while we're gone. His Grace can wear them when we return. Yes, my lady. Later. We will be heading back to the capital, in time for the ball hosted by the Duchess of Charblesse. Yes, my lady. As the carriage pulled through the valley road, Sisha gazed out the window. The village has gotten even prettier. He watched her quietly. She continued. We use the roses from the village and our farm to make rose candy. We also use them to make various desserts. His eyes lit up. I'd love to try some, when we reach our estate. She turned slightly. I'll have the staff prepare it for you when we get there. He paused, then offered gently. If it is all right, I'd like to enjoy them with you. She blinked, then nodded slowly. I'll have them prepare the desserts for our afternoon tea today. Moments passed between them. Then he spoke with admiration. You're quite something, my lady. The estate has grown visibly over the past 3 years. She looked surprised. No. This was all you're doing, Your Grace? There was a silence before he said. But everyone thought I was dead. She looked out the window again. Mir loved it here. I started the business after His Majesty told me about your love of roses. He lowered his gaze. I didn't do much. In fact, whatever I did ended in failure. He looked at her. This was all you're doing, my lady? She smirked softly. Fine. It was all me. He lowered his head sincerely. My lady. Thank you for working so hard these past 3 years. It must have been very difficult for you. He held her gaze. Please accept my thanks. And my apology. She turned away gently. Don't mention it. It was part of my job. But his voice pressed forward. You did more than you were asked to do. I don't know how I'll ever repay you. She gave a quiet smile. Don't worry. You've given me enough already. Then she added, but if you want to repay me, who am I to refuse? He chuckled warmly. Well then, would you do me a favor, Your Grace? Of course. What favor is it? She looked away. Later. I'll ask you later. A pause. All right. I hope it's something within my capabilities. She smiled softly to herself. But of course. He leaned in slightly. Then yes. I'll grant you the favor. Whatever you wish shall be done. Thank you, Your Grace. Suddenly she gasped. Yikes. He leaned forward. What is it, my lady? Her eyes widened in panic. I forgot I have an urgent matter to take care of. She stood abruptly. Why don't you head in first? I'll be right back. She hurried away. It totally slipped my mind. Her thoughts raced. If he sees that, I cannot let His Grace find out about it. She clutched the flower pot tightly and whispered to herself. She said, I can't let His Grace find out about it. Then she looked around nervously. Come to think of it, I have no idea where to put this. A voice suddenly spoke behind her. Rennie asked. What is it, my lady? She jumped in surprise. She said, You scared me. She quickly gave orders. Tell the gardener to replant the flowers in a different pot. Be discreet about it. Once it's done, place the new pot here, and take this old pot to my room. Yes, my lady, Rennie replied. Later, His Grace questioned her. He said, Why didn't you inform me about the good news, Rennie? Rennie answered honestly. I didn't think you'd be interested in potted flowers, Your Grace. He frowned and said, I gifted her that pot. She kept it, even though it was chipped. Do I have to report every little detail, Rennie? Rennie hesitated. I'll keep that in mind, Your Grace. You'd better, if you value your life, he replied coldly. Back in the garden, he searched for her. He called out, My lady! Where were you? She answered quickly. I had to use the restroom. He asked. Did you manage to finish whatever you were doing? She nodded. Oh, I did, Your Grace. I made it in the nick of time. She thought to herself. She said inwardly, If His Grace had seen the chipped flower pot. He looked at her suspiciously and asked, Why didn't you toss the pot out? Is there some sort of meaning behind your actions? Her face turned red. She thought, Just thinking about it makes me embarrassed. He then said, My lady, there's somewhere I'd like to visit. She asked. Where do you wish to go? He answered quietly. I'd like to visit my grave. She gasped softly. Oh, I'm sure they moved the headstone from the gravesite. Do you still wish to go? I'm still a bit curious, he replied. She gathered her courage and asked, Your Grace, ever since you came back, I've been meaning to ask you something. Who were the 12 bodies they found at the scene 3 years ago? He sighed. He said, It was His Majesty's doing. My life was in grave danger, so His Majesty made sure the crime scene looked authentic. Oh, I see, she replied quietly. I'll be back soon, my lady, he said. Be safe, Your Grace, she answered. He stood before a grave and whispered, Father, Mother, I finally got my revenge. a voice announced. Narration. Greetings to His Grace, the Duke of Lunaria. Give me the guest book, he said. Here it is, the servant replied. She came to visit me regularly, he murmured. Then he said, Let's get going. We'll stop by the square before we head to the Sienna orphanage. As they walked, he thought, This place reminds me of Sisha. A sudden commotion broke out. Someone shouted, Head inside, children! Another voice cried out, Who the hell is that? I have no clue, Your Grace, someone replied. A man screamed, I said, give me my child. So that's what this is all about, His Grace muttered. What is the meaning of this? Let go of me, the man yelled. My lord, someone cried. It's His Grace to you, another corrected. Why, Your Grace? The man stammered. He spoke calmly. Yes. We brought you some food, but there seems to be some sort of commotion. Yes, Your Grace, the headmistress replied. He asked firmly. Are you really going to hand over the child to her father? No, I would never do such a thing, she cried. Take the children inside, he ordered. Yes, Your Grace. The man screamed wildly. Let me go, you assholes! His Grace narrowed his eyes. I smell something sickeningly sweet and cloying. The man shouted. I'll kill you all, you bastards! He replied coldly. Kill me? You'll die first before you take another step. He stepped closer and said, How are you going to kill me in that state? I'm sure you can't even lift a finger. You, the man growled. You're a drug addict, aren't you? His Grace said. He did no such thing, someone protested. How dare you speak to His Grace like that? Another shouted. His Grace raised his voice. You dare to set foot in my fiefdom looking like this? Then he said calmly, I want to talk to this man in private. Headmistress, why don't you go inside? Yes, Your Grace, she replied. He looked at the man carefully and said, It seems you're suffering from withdrawal symptoms. I may be able to help with that. Why you can? The man asked. That's right, His Grace said. He leaned closer and whispered. You need opium, don't you? He looked at the man coldly and said, You need opium, don't you? The man stuttered. Why, you have some? I may, if you tell me the truth, he replied. Why do you want the child? The man shouted. Because she's my daughter. You don't have to shout. You're being too loud, he said calmly. Let him go. Then he asked again. Why do you want to take your child? I can't help you unless you tell me the truth. The man hesitated. Well, I can sell her for some cash. I see, he replied. You need money to buy opium, correct? Thanks for letting me know. He turned to his knights. Now I just need to have a quick chat with the headmistress. My knights will show you to my carriage. Make sure to take good care of our guest. Yes, Your Grace, they answered. He faced the headmistress. I'd like to discuss the man who was causing a commotion earlier. Yes, Your Grace. Tell me everything you know about him. And how the girl ended up at the orphanage. She explained. He's a drunkard and lives in a village on the outskirts of the east border. So he drinks too, that's probably why no one noticed the opium. He was manhandling his daughter, and the villagers reported him to the constable. That's how the child ended up here. His father gave her away willingly, so it wasn't difficult to bring her here. He's a man who takes advantage of his child for his own gain. So we didn't think he would come here and cause trouble," he said firmly. "I need to investigate this issue further." "Investigate, Your Grace?" she asked. "Don't worry. No harm will come to the child. I'd like to meet her, if you don't mind." "Yes, Your Grace." He knelt in front of the girl. "What's your name?" "It's Alive Aloni, Your Grace." "And your age?" "I'm 11. 11 years old," he repeated quietly. He thought to himself. "Rennie was around that age when I took her in." Then he said gently, "I'd like to let you in on a secret. I have the ability to punish bad people. Can you think of someone you'd like me to punish?" He turned to the others. "Alive and I may need a bit of privacy." "We will be waiting outside, Your Grace," they replied. He nodded. "You do that. I promise not to tell anyone about our little secret. Whatever we say here will stay in this room." The girl whispered, "My father. I wish he disappeared from this world forever." He answered calmly, "All right. I can definitely make that happen." Later that evening. "You're late, Your Grace," she said. "I was busy doing a good deed," he replied. "A good deed?" she asked. "It's not actually good, but it's still good, if that makes sense," he said. "You must be tired," she said softly. "I really am, my lady," he replied. She thought to herself. He became very affectionate after coming back from the dead. Then he smiled and said, "Now then, shall we go have our supper?" "Oh, one moment," she said. He stepped closer. "What is he trying to do?" she wondered. "I brought you a present," he said. "It reminded me of you." "Of course, no gemstone could ever compare to your beauty," she asked. "What's the occasion?" "I purchased it at the square earlier. It reminded me of you," he replied. "You don't have to get me jewelry, Your Grace. I'm not even your real wife." He smiled. "I promised to treat you as if you were my real wife, remember? Anyway, isn't it beautiful?" "It certainly is, but still," she said shyly. "Good. Now let's go have supper," he replied. A servant bowed. "Welcome, Your Grace. I tried to incorporate all the details you requested. I hope it is to your liking." "It's perfect. If we succeed, I owe it all to you." "Keep up the good work," he said. "Yes, Your Grace." They walked through the busy street. "There are so many souvenirs here," she said. "Yes, Your Grace," her companion replied. Suddenly she gasped. "Yikes, Your Grace! Did you just see that?" "See what?" he asked. "I just saw a devastatingly handsome man walk by." "I don't have eyes on the back of my head, unfortunately," he replied. "You're not interested in handsome men?" But he was so pleasing to the eye. "Nonetheless, he's a mere stranger," he said. "I'm more interested in the items in front of me." She teased him. "What did you look for in a man when you were a damsel, Your Grace?" He answered thoughtfully. "I was too busy trying to make ends meet. In fact, the only thing I wanted was an ideal boss." "So you didn't have a type?" she asked. "I did not. I had no interest in men," he replied. "I'm sure you did, Your Grace," she laughed. He paused and then asked, "Well then, why did you marry His Grace?" She looked at her and asked curiously. She said, "Why did you marry His Grace?" Inside her heart, she wondered. She thought, I know their marriage is contractual, but I want to know why she agreed to it. She answered honestly. Well, His Grace proposed to me. She remembered his words. He had said, I need someone competent by my side, Lady Poyne. I hope we get to enjoy the roses together. She continued. And I was tempted by his offer. Of course, it was a much better option than dealing with loan sharks or being sold to a harem. Rennie whispered to herself. Rennie thought. I don't know how, but our innocent lady was seduced by our devil master. I know she had money problems, so he likely lured her with money. His words can kill a flying bird, so I can see why Her Grace fell for it. She suddenly gasped in excitement. Rennie said, This is so cute. Look at this, my lady. Isn't it adorable? She smiled faintly. She asked, What did you look for in a man before marriage, Rennie? I didn't have a type, Rennie replied. But there's something I do want in a man now. She looked thoughtful. I want someone who sees me for who I am. She laughed and added, Like pulling this glass cat out of a pile of statues. Let me get that for you. Really? She asked. Really, Rennie replied. Wow. Are you really that happy? She asked. Of course. I love kitties, Rennie exclaimed. She sighed. I don't get it. It's just not my style. But as long as you find it cute. Rennie laughed. You're right. It's fine as long as I find it cute. Then Rennie asked playfully, Have you seen His Grace up close, Your Grace? Of course I have, she answered. What does he look like? I have no idea, she replied. His face is always covered by his bangs. Rennie smiled mysteriously. His face is beautiful and angelic. She froze. She thought. He tricked her. That's hard to imagine. She said aloud. I didn't believe it at first either. Rennie suddenly pointed at another item. Oh, what about this? I'd like to get you something in return for the cat. I don't need it, she replied. I'll get the angel too, as a set. I said I didn't want it. You don't have to get me anything, Rennie. I got you the cat because I wanted to. Fine. I'll consider it an early birthday gift, Rennie said happily. Of course, she replied. Rennie clapped her hands. I have the perfect name for the devil doll. A name? She asked. Yes. It came to mind the moment I saw it. This doll will be named Stir. Short for Devil's Stir. She smiled and added, Why don't you come up with a name for the angel, Your Grace? Why don't you go ahead, Rennie? No, think of the first name that comes to mind, Your Grace. She whispered. Mir. Rennie shook her head. It's your gift, so you should name it. Is that so? Then how about Titi? That's fine, she said softly. Rennie giggled. Devil's and Titi. Isn't it cute? She frowned slightly. She thought. What's with her? Did she wake up on the wrong side of the bed today? Rennie snapped back. None of your business. Why can't you tell us? She teased. It's my little secret, Rennie replied. She picked up the dolls and whispered. Where did these dolls come from? They look like they're trying to protect Sisha. She added softly. These dolls remind me of Sisha and myself. Sisha would be the angel, and I the devil. Later, Rennie entered the room. Rennie said, I saw some dolls on the bed, my lady, she replied. Oh, they're an angel and a devil. Devil's and Titi the angel. Excuse me? Rennie asked. The devil is named Stir, and the angel is Titi. Oh, I see. What do you see? She asked. It's nothing, Rennie replied. She thought quietly. I thought she was saying Devil Master. They call me the Devil's in the dark world. There's no way Sisha would know about that. It sounds like something Rennie came up with. She asked. How did you know? Rennie smiled. She's the only one who dares to get on my nerves like this. Just a hunch. She teased again. An assassin is unafraid of death. Does that mean you're ready to die, Rennie? Rennie panicked. What? That's not what I meant. Of course I don't want to die. I know you kill people like flies, but we're in this together, aren't we, Master? She answered coldly. Let's make it clear. We're not in this together. You work for me. She thought to herself. Rennie says she enjoys the thrill of poking fun at me. She's quite perverted in that sense. But of course, she isn't as bad as that pervert. She looked at the dolls again. I'm good at figuring things out, my lady. I've heard someone talk like this before. But I don't remember when. She asked. Was it a gift? Oh, yes. Rennie got it for me in return for something else. What do you mean? I bought her a glass cat, and she got me these dolls in return. I didn't need them, but I didn't want to disappoint her. I see, she replied quietly. Then her eyes darkened. She thought. How dare Rennie get under Sisha's skin? Only I have the right to be loved by Sisha. She turned sharply. She said, Rennie, we need to talk.